Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to ChanmanV's Pro Corner, where pros come and show us how it's done. Tonight's episode 58, and we're doing a ZvZ tonight with EGLzGaMeR and EGMachine, and we'll have those guys on in just a second. But I kind of just want to see how you guys were doing tonight, and hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Caught a bunch of good StarCraft with WCS UK championships and so the MCSL finals. Lots of great matches there, and hopefully you were able to check out some players, and maybe in that WCS some players that you never even heard of. So lots of good stuff there. But before I started the show, I also wanted to address all the Terrans recently messaging me and asking me to do Terran shows, and I kind of addressed it at the end of last show, but I wanna address it again because I'm able to get some more Terrans. So I promise you that we will have lots of really good Terrans at the end of July, or the second half of July. But first half of July we have BCQD in a few weeks. So Terrans, I haven't forgot about you guys, all right? But I guess you're just gonna have to endure a little bit more Zerg and Protoss for a little bit longer, and soon we'll have Terrans, a lot of EU Terrans. So guys like, I'll give you some hints. We'll have guys like Goody and Cloud and Koss and those kind of guys. They'll be on the show and give you guys great strategies. And we will be doing more mirror matches too. So we're going to handle all those, because I've been kind of avoiding mirror matches for a while now because I just figured the other matches were a little bit more dynamic. But I think we've gotten to the point where we need to start introducing mirror matches again, because I know a lot of you guys want to get some tips on it, right? Okay, so what are we doing tonight? We're going to be doing a dual coaching with EGMachine and EGLzGaMeR. These guys, they have practice sessions all the time, and I know you guys have seen the sessions, when all of them are streaming, the EG sessions. It'll be a little bit like that, or very similar to that. One of them will be coaching the other through these games. We're going to have Team for Knots Jake Bake to be our practice partner tonight, so a big thanks to him for helping us out tonight. He's going to be playing the games against them. And what we'll do is we'll pull them on. We'll kind of chat with them about their strategies right now. Maybe try to break it down into early, mid, and late game kind of strategies, and then we'll start some games. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So let me pull them on right now and get this started. Here we go. This is always the fun part. Hey guys, hold on a second. Let me switching you over. All right, here you go. What's up, Machine EGLzGaMeR?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's up? How's it going? How you guys been?
Pretty good. Finally got back from MLG, GSL, and all that. Just been practicing, streaming, having a good time. What about you, Jake?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much the same. Just got back, been practicing, getting into the normal routine of things. Been streaming a lot, so yeah.
Good stuff. I've been checking a lot of your new commercials out, Bryce. I mean, those commercials are classic, man. When are you gonna get in on some of those, Jake?
I think I did the Pink Siberia one with
Bryce.
Oh
yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one too.
Yeah, those are hilarious. Like, I don't even know how Machine even held a straight face for the computer one. Jesus, that was
you mean
good.
the save the computer one?
Yeah.
Man. Oh, that was my favorite. Of all the commercials I've done so far, I think, that was my favorite so far. And, like, Sean, who's our, photographer and video editor, came up and told me about the idea, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be golden. This is going to be amazing.
How many takes did it take?
Not many.
Not many, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Were you there for that, Jake? I think you
Yeah, I was there for that. You were done in, like, 30 minutes or something.
Oh, wow. He's a natural, man.
I'm a natural. I'm good at memorizing lines. I don't know why.
That's true. That wasn't very short. There's definitely a lot of lines there, right? I mean.
Yeah. The harder one actually was the one, the more recent one for Sapphire that I did, where I sat next to the fireplace. There was a line in there I couldn't get. I couldn't tell you why. Like, I was like, I've never had to cut before and like actually do something in 2 takes, but that one time I was like, you know what, like I gotta just cut this. I kept messing up on that single line. I'd get like almost to the end and be like, ugh. Yeah,
that's funny, man.
That one was a fun one too.
Hey, can you turn your mic up a little?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just to make sure I want everybody to be able to hear you with when you're giving some great tips. So.
All right. Let's see here.
So Jay, crawfish season's over, huh?
I know, it's very sad.
I know.
I actually missed it. I was in Arizona during that whole time, so.
Really? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a sad.
Yeah, you could have had a crawfish boil over there, man. Order some. That's what I do, man. Here in Florida. There, man. Was it?
They don't even exist over there.
I know, but you can order. You can order from.
And heat.
You can order from like the sites like lacrawfish.com and stuff.
Really?
Probably. I didn't even know there.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a site.
But today, I actually, when we went for sushi, for my first time ever, I noticed they had crawfish sushi, and I had that. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. But all right, guys, what are we going to do tonight? We are going to do ZvZ tonight. And I know ZvZ, recently at least, has kind of, been changing a little bit, right? I mean, you've definitely been seeing a lot more late game, even hive units, I'd have to say, in a lot of these, ultras and broodlords. I mean, a lot of ultra against ultra into whoever gets the broodlords, like the fast, or just able to get to broodlords in those battles, ends up winning. So it's pretty interesting, and I have to say, I think viewers have been reacting too. So I mean, I think ZvZ's just been getting more interesting, for folks. So I kind of wanted to get y'all's take on it, and maybe have you guys work through a practice session, and hopefully see you guys help each other out, and try to work through things, right? Just kind of thinking through things. And,
yeah, sure, I'd love to.
So first off, why don't we kind of break it down into early, mid, and late game with ZvZ, and kind of get y'all's take on each one right now. What are y'all's feelings about an early game? Just how to open, and what the dynamics are right now.
Well, people are kind of realizing that taking an extremely early gas doesn't really give you too many benefits, because you can actually hold off a lot of like the super all-in one-base builds, like like a speed bang build, or like 7 roach rush, something like that, quite easily, just with like good positioning and scouting it ahead of time, because roaches are so slow, and you can scout like the natural base so easily. When they're on the one base all in, and so people are actually going more like mixing in like hatch first. I would say is probably still the most common build, but it's like hatch, pool, gas is probably the most common right now, or like a lot of players like Fitzy here is going like pool, hatch, gas kind of thing, just to play it safe, put a little bit of pressure on, but secure that natural pretty safely and pretty quickly at the same time. So as far as openers, you don't really see the super risky like hatch, gas pool, like 15 hatch, 17 gas, 17 pool, because it's so easily punished by people who are just throwing in like a standard like 10 pool or something like that. And then you have the super all-ins, which are like the 7 pool drone like all-in that you see like a Nestea do pretty often or pretty commonly, and a lot of the other top surds as well. But yeah, it's becoming a more standardized matchup for sure.
What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about ZvZ is it's the one matchup where every unit is really good. Like, every unit Zerg has can be good in a different situation. For everything from, like, Lings to even the most uncommon unit in the game, which is Hydras. It's actually a really good unit in Zerg versus Zerg, to where you never even see them in versus Terran or anything like that. The thing I would say, I mean, Bryce covered a lot of the early game ZvZ as far as, like, build orders and stuff. I would say the most common is actually like pull hatch gas instead of fast expand nowadays, just because when you go fast expand, you actually run a risk that you don't have to run, especially on ladder or something where you're playing for points and you're trying to level your points up. So a lot of players are just playing safer. The like 15 pull, 16 hatch, and then a gas at like 17, 16, 17 is actually the safest opening, I would say, because you almost automatically win versus any kind of like 10 pull, 7 pull, anything like that, just because you pulled first. But even if your opponent hatches first, you actually don't even run behind, like if drone count wise.
Right. So
there's really no real way of punishing that build either. So it's almost just like the safest and most common opening, I would say, at the higher levels.
Yeah, like when I'm watching like a lot of the higher level, series, between ZvZ series, they're always mixing it up, and I kind of wanted to ask you guys about that because I've always felt the same thing, Jake. I've always felt the 15, the 15 pool is the safest one, and it's much closer to the 15 hatch than say like a gas opening, right?
Right.
So I've asked other pros this before, and they always say that they kind of mix and match it because they're anticipating some cheese. Because I mean, can you hold 15 hatch 15 pool if they send if they're going 10 pool and they send everything except for like 1 or 2 drones?
You can, but it's really hard. Like you have to control it perfectly.
Yeah, you have to control it perfectly, and even then, it's pretty risky, it seems.
Okay. Yeah. And so I kind of wanted to. I mean, it's kind of getting to you, Jake. I mean, do you think that anybody should go 15 hatch these days if you run?
I do it a lot. I mean, I do it a lot, but a lot of times when I do it, I'll also scout really early too. Like I love to know what my opponent's doing ZvZ.
Oh.
Like I don't even find I get economically behind or anything by it, especially because if you send out a drone, let's say at 10 or even 11, it gets there in time to stop their expansion too, right? So if you see a drone they're sending out to go take an expansion, let's say they were going hatch first, you could block it and then you could hatch first yourself. Otherwise, I think you shouldn't go hatch first if you're going to play it blind, just because you run a risk. Like there's no reason. It's a risk that you don't need to take.
Right.
Like, it doesn't give you that big of a reward for the the risk that it runs.
So yeah, so that's kind of early game, and obviously there are a lot of different one base type of timings you'll have to defend right in early game, and I know we've talked about it in the past and stuff. So I kind of wanted to get a little bit into the transition into mid game with you guys, and one of the I think key things is really the third timing these days. A lot of people, I've heard kind of 2 different stories now, and with the third, I think most folks either just go, we'll go three hatch before layer. I think that's one way of approaching it, or they go, into teching where they go layer with 2 base, and then they take a third, right? Kind of want to get y'all's thoughts on that, and really exactly what the timing of the thirds is in each of those scenarios.
I actually think the most common third timing would be third hatch even before layer. I don't know the exact time. Jake can tell you, but I know it comes.
It's like 6:20.
6:20.
Yeah, usually about 6:20.
What's it based off of? Just saturation on the 2 bases?
Yeah, saturation on the bases, exactly.
Okay.
You'll definitely have your Ling Bane tech at that time. You'll have both your bases saturated. It'll be time to pick a tech, so you typically take your third while simultaneously putting down a Roachhorn Evo chamber for your upgrades, and then producing Zerglings to either pressure their third that would be building simultaneously. So you guys have these little Ling Bane wars going on, and see who can get the advantage by forcing the opponent to cancel their third, or you're using the Ling Bane just to hold any sort of early pressure on your own third. And then, once your third's kind of secured and you realize, it's going to be held or that Roachhorn's up, then you start teching your layer. You can start droning your third, reacting accordingly.
Okay, Jake, what's your thought?
That's the standard. Like if you were just going cookie cutter build standard, but the thing is, there's so many builds now out there for ZvZ that it's you could say that and you could see a hatch, let's say at 610, 640, it doesn't even matter. And you can't even guarantee that's what they're doing. A lot of players now are metagaming this whole thing where it's okay, well, they're going to go Ling and they're probably going to make Banelings, they're going to do some aggression. And so they skip it all together and they'll go Lings, they'll take a third, and then they'll go Roaches, right? And they'll produce they don't even make, yes, Bryce knows this, and then they'll counter aggression with 15 Roaches, and there's no way you can hold your natural usually, or not your natural, your third, right? So then they have a third, and then you lose that, and you have to produce all these units just to try to defend your natural, and so they gain this advantage. So there's so many different builds that's going around to give one player an advantage over another. So it's it turned from a game of rock paper scissors to where you add 6 more scenarios to that game, and that's what you have at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of funny because a lot of people think that it's really bad to have the game, in that kind of state where it's playing. You can't just play a very standard way. I mean, you kind of have to, like you said, it's more of a game like rock paper scissors where you actually have to choose a strategy and you throw it on the table, and hopefully it beats a higher percentage of the other kind of builds that the opponent could be playing.
Right.
I mean, what do you guys think of that? I mean, is it fine for the game to be in that kind of state, or this matchup to be in that state, or do you guys not like it? It's just too chance in y'all's opinion?
For a perfect game, I guess that you're trying to build purely upon like not having any luck. It's I don't think it's like fine. It's not like perfect, but you know, it's not like they can really adjust it. I at least don't think so. It would be way too difficult to balance from that sort of perspective. So I guess I don't really think about like, is it okay or not? I just try to work on dealing with it. But that's, I don't know. I actually just don't know how to react or to answer that, I guess.
I know how to answer that. I think that the game is not figured out nearly completed. Like, I don't. We still see new stuff pop up. Even when I think the game's like finished, like, okay, that's probably like, this is going to be how it's going to be, you know, until Heart of the Swarm comes out. Here comes like a curveball. Here comes another strategy that comes along. So I don't think the game is figured out. I think we're still in the point where it's going to keep evolving. And then once we think, okay, that's going to be it. It's not going to change anymore. You know, this is going to be the last new build that comes out of ZvZ. Here comes Heart of the Swarm, and it's going to just, you know, it's going to start all over again. So we're looking at like 10 years of this, man. So, like, there's so much more crying and complaining that's going to be coming along. So just get ready, Reddit. Get ready.
Exactly.
Exactly. It is. It's literally going to be starting from ground zero again once HOTS comes out. So it's going to be crazy. But okay, and just to kind of finish it off, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about late game. I mean, if it ever gets there. So, you know, before, I think a lot of people thought the ideal late game composition was more, you know, more of a Roach, Infestor kind of Hydra mix. You know, and getting to those hive units was either A, very hard because, I mean, you're just under constant, you know, pressure, I guess, going into that kind of stage of the game. Yeah. And secondly, you know, I guess some folks just didn't think those units were that great against it, or at least getting to that critical mass number of them was, you know, it was just so hard, right? So just having like a few Broodlords was not, you know, worth it. So kind of talk to me, what's different now? Like, why are we seeing like more Ultras into Broodlords and that type of thing?
People are getting really defined builds, and Ling Infestor into Ultra is the most cost-efficient way to deal with Roach, Hydra, Infestor as long as you can get to the Ultra. Like, you basically have to give up map control for the entire game until you get to Hive Tech. But Infestors are so efficient because you're trading units which cost you know, resources for literally just energy. And then everything else that you're trading to tank for those Infestors to deal that DPS only costs minerals. So you're able to get these extremely high Infestor counts, and then the longer the game goes on with these Infestor counts, the more cost efficient you're being. And then Ultralists are just insanely cost effective against Roach Hydra, and their one weakness is they can be kited, but they can't be kited once you have Infestors with Fungal. So they just work in unison to make this ball of Ultra Infestor that just kind of eats anything on the ground. But now you're starting to see players mixing in Broodlords kind of try to counter that, but there's still like big holes and big walls and as far as timings that you can hit before someone's able to get Broodlords up because they aren't as reactive of a unit. You have to build the Corruptors, you have to morph the Spire, which is more which costs more than like the Ultra Den, then morph to a Greater Spire, and then morph the Corruptors. It takes so much time, but eventually the Broodlord, I think, ends up being like the most important unit in the Zerg arsenal. It's just almost impossible to get to without leaving yourself open for a timing.
Jake, what do you think?
Well, I mean, Bryce pretty much covers everything because he just keeps on rambling.
It's
true, though. Like, it is true.
We need to let Jake go first next time.
I know, seriously. I give like 10-word answers. Like, Ultras are good. It's like, that's it.
I want everyone to understand why. Jeez.
No, just kidding. No, I mean, it's pretty much this. Like, the only weakness I would say that Bryce forgot to mention is like the UI can be messed up on the Ultras with like eggs, right? So like a good egg control can mess up an Ultralist attack really bad. And another thing is like if you make bad engagements with Ultras, it's more punishing than if you make a bad Roach attack because you're going to lose so much income, right? Because Ultras are not cheap at all. Yes, they can get amazing cost efficiency out of their units with the support of Infestors and stuff, but I mean, that's the one big thing. Another thing I think we're going to start seeing, I don't think it's happened yet, but I think once everybody sees that players start instantly going for like Ling upgrades, double Evos and stuff, I think we're going to see people instantly counter that by going into Broodlords. I'm almost positive that we're going to see that.
Wait, are you talking like straight Ling Infestor into Broodlord?
No. No. Like, let's say you were going Ling Infestor into Ultra, okay? Well, and the other player opened Roach. I think he'll switch from, like, after 2 attack or whatever, 2/2 on his Roaches, he'll switch into Hive Broodlords. It's happened to me a couple times recently.
Actually, like, I'm not gonna lie, I just did that like probably 10 games ago, and it worked really well. And
it works really well, like because the Ultralisk, like even though like the Broodlings aren't doing a ton of damage, they can't get to them, right? They just act like a perfect infinite army of little Broodlings that just tank pretty much for your Roaches. So yeah, we're gonna start seeing that a lot.
So, I was watching something over the weekend that you kind of want to bring something up, when it comes to Ultras versus Broodlords. And I was watching, I think there's a WCS UK, I think it was Johnny Rico against ZvZ. And there was one game where they both, got to Ultras, I believe, and I think Johnny Rico got to Broodlords. And it felt like he was definitely going to win because ZvZ was stuck with Ultra. But then ZvZ built a Nidus, right, and Nidus' base, and just tore him up. It's basically tore up his tech, and it kind of brings up the point of the Ultras being mobile, right? It's kind of like a little bit of a ZVP feel, I guess, where you have, you have this really slow Broodlord army all of a sudden, right? Like the Zerg just becomes the slow one, and they have to like push all the way across the map, while the Ultra army is like very fast, right? So they can counter, I guess, better. Yeah. Is there anything to that worth discussing, or?
They're very map specific. I think Broodlords would be good on a map like Cloud Kingdom, but Antigua, you would never. Okay, Jake, you take this.
Yeah. Huh? Jake goes first this time.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. It's like it's better on small maps. Yeah, you'll never see it on Paul de Rem. Like the whole thing about like Ling Infestor, like okay, I'm gonna lay it out in a nutshell. Ling Infestor, you start off and you can be really aggressive, like non-stop aggression if you want to, right? Because you have the Ling upgrades. If your opponent's going mutas, it's fine because that means their Zerglings will be in a cost efficient against your Zerglings. So it forces him to play more defensive. So you can be a lot more aggressive with like Ling Infestor openings. Until the mid-game part, and then you're more of in the turtle mode where you're building lots of drones, you're making spine crawlers, you're switching to infestor tech, but we try to use our lings to get an advantage or something in that stage or in that point of the game, right? To where as we progress into later stage of the game, we have an economic advantage or a tech advantage or something along those lines. To where so in that mid-game, we don't really use our lings so much in an actual attack, which is why on bigger maps, it's great to counterattack our opponent. So if he sends out Roaches to attack us, then we would counterattack with a ton of lings, right? And we'd almost guarantee him to either pull back or lose a base. Like it's almost just like cookie cutter. Like that's how it is. Right. And we use our infestors and spines and stuff and our reinforcements to hold an actual attack. So that's the reason on bigger maps it's harder to go like Broodlords and stuff because of the mobility of that build where lings and stuff can bounce around, snipe bases. Because once you get 3/3 and cracks or 2/2 upgrades or something, you're going to tear down a hatchery really fast, whether there's 4 spines there or not. Like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even with Banelings, like once you get that +1 armor, they're still they'll have like 1 HP left. They're still able to do DPS.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Good stuff. I mean, I liking how this show's going already. Just had a lot of good discussion and talking about just the different strategies and how they kind of match up with each other. But why don't we just start jumping into some games? And who wants to go first?
Doesn't matter.
Get him, Jake.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
To Jake's first. Why don't y'all join the ChanmanV channel in Battle.net?
All right.
Any map you prefer to start off with?
Nope. Surprise me.
You like to be surprised, don't you?
I do.
All right, here we go.
That's the way I roll.
That's the way I roll. All right. Going Cloud Kingdom.
I think I know what Jake's going to do here.
All right,
what do you think? What do you think I should do?
Well, I don't want to steer what you want to do, so just do your thing.
Well, I mean, I have a lot of builds.
Okay, well, I think you're going to go Ling Infestor. I could be wrong.
Again, they're going to be playing Jake Bake from Team Team for not. So.
Wait, what? His team is Team for Not?
Yeah, Team for not. That's
Okay.
the name of it.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, pretty cool. Have you guys know Jake at all? Jake Bake? Jake Bake Jake?
No.
Sounds like an awesome guy.
Jake does not know Jake Bake.
Alright. Alright, there you go. See if everybody's ready, and we'll start up. Alright, and this format is still, I'm still trying to figure out the best balance between talking here. But
I think it'd be best if I did most of the talking, right?
okay. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, definitely you do most of the talking, but I
think I could just kind of describe what Jake's doing, and maybe like answer some questions for him, and only if it's wrong, then Jake can answer.
Yeah. But definitely, if you guys...
I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to troll Bryce. He's like, and I think Jake's doing this. Like, no! Like, instantly cancel the spire and throw down an infestation pit just because he got it right.
Stop talking for me!
Like, I think he's going to be making mutus here, and I instantly throw down corruptors.
Like corruptors to start sniping overlords.
Yeah.
So, Bryce, can you explain why Jake has 6 evolution chambers? Well, I mean...
Exactly.
I guess if 4 of them died, like, he'd still have 2 more.
Well, you see, if Zerglings ran to the base, they'd have to guess which ones was up.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Whack-a-mole with upgrades. Oh, that'd be great.
He's choosing +1. No, he's choosing +1 carrot. No, he's choosing range now. No, wait. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, 9 overlord.
9 overlord. All right, yeah.
That's like my kryptonite, by the way.
Yeah, Jake always forgets to build his knight, though. Like,
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I have the problems with the easiest parts of the game.
he had the worst habit, and I'm talking like literally until this last time he came to the EG house, he would build his overlord on 10 and not do an extractor trick.
What?
I'm not joking.
Come on, man.
It just seemed like too much work. I'm just
Too
gonna.
much work.
It wasn't worth how much, like the extra 10 minerals or something that I would get
It's
out
not
of it.
just 10 minerals. It's like actually kind of a big deal. You're like supply blocking a larva and losing 10 minerals.
That's true. It is. It's
The
more
way
than
I
10
see it,
minerals.
alright, I'm justifying it by I like giving my opponent the advantage so that it feels sweeter after I win.
You would say this, man. And like, I'd be sitting there practicing with Jake, and like, after like a hard-fought 30-minute game, I'd be like, he started that game down a larva and then won. He'd sit there with all this like terrible logic, trying to justify why he's too lazy to build his overlord on 9. All right.
It's a rough
Anyway,
fight.
now that answer. Jake built his overlord on 9. Right. Let's see
He's
here.
just
So,
pulling
yeah,
an ST, man. Just trying to troll. Just trying to give his opponent a handicap and
alright.
troll him at the end.
That's it, man. The Koreans scout a 10 overlord and they have no idea what's going on. They're like, they don't know how to react to that.
It's a 10 pull, damn it. Okay, so getting gas at
Hatch,
15 again, right?
16 gas, actually.
Oh, 16 gas, okay. And overlording. Oh, you're actually overlording 15, right?
Yeah, because you have to, because it's pull before hatch, so yeah.
Gotcha.
Alright, scouts hatch first here by his opponent.
So that means I don't have to make a Zergling.
Yep.
Right. And because you guys are going early hatch, you guys know that you're safe at least for the next 2 minutes or so, right? I mean, it's nothing crazy is going to be happening here.
Usually. I mean, I guess you couldn't say always, but
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
Especially with
the
your
only-
overlords there too.
The only thing that could possibly be questionable is if the opponent went like 15 hatch, 17 gas, 17 pull, and did like speed, pulled drones off gas, and did like a 22 drone like speedling all in.
Yeah.
It's questionable, but that's actually the only timing.
Jake, do you go precautionary Bane Nest?
Sometimes.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
skip
Jake,
it sometimes if you.
Play it on the edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do it every single time.
Yeah.
And I'll like flip a coin. I'll mix it up so that like I'm not that easy to read, where people just can't. Like sometimes Bryce would try to like blind counter me or something because he knew I like skipping it. And those random times I'd have a Baneley Nest and I just like instantly kill us all in on.
I
or
have
something.
no luck. I'm serious. We did that quite a few times here when we were practicing, and it would be like that one game.
Up to.
Yeah,
Let's try to get that Evo chamber. It's always a good technique is to throw down that Evo whenever your opponent's
the,
almost dead.
Exactly. Alright.
Okay, so just droning away.
What are you going to do with this gas?
At 150, I'm going to drop 2 evolution chambers.
Oh, you're skipping. I see.
Okay, I see. So you're going to get, obviously, just 1/1, right? 1+1 attack and carapace.
Pardon?
You're going to get 1/1?
Melee and carapace. Exactly.
Yeah. 1/1.
I was wondering why you put your spine there, but I actually like this positioning against
That's
the
an
Nolan.
interesting wall. Wow, okay, cool.
You have to pull your drones though against Ling Banelons, right?
Yeah, but I do that versus... You have to do that if you skip banelings in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, as long as you don't lose the drones, it's not that
Speaking
big a
of
deal.
which-
Look at that timing, though. Look at that gas timing. Yeah, I
I
see
think
it.
Jake should see something.
Yeah, I see it. Don't worry.
Let's see something. Okay, so he...
This is the Jake and Bake special.
The chicken face special.
I don't know, I keep thinking of that one movie, Talladega Nights.
Oh, man. That's
Oh god.
me, by the way.
That's awesome. Okay, so now you got the 2 queens at the ramp, so there's no way he's going to break this at all.
Yeah, he loses some mining time, but he's not going to lose a drone, and Bake produced all those unnecessary Zerglings that aren't drones, so he's like essentially losing a bunch of mining time just by even trying the timing attack.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I
wasting
like
love.
that. I like the wall there. That's a creative wall right there.
You got idle drone.
Sure.
And alright, Jake, once you have this 1/1, what are you going to do? Like, what's your advantage?
I'm going to... Well, I'm going to expand, first off, and, like, capitalize on it. And I'm going to do a really heavy, like, aggression, like you're going to see.
Alright. Notice the drone.
In general, this game, there hasn't been any real aggression except for that kind of poking by him there and then poking out, right?
Yeah, no, but Jake is playing this opening perfect as far as the upgrades so far, and like his advantages and what he's going to utilize with them. We'll see.
Alright, so is this poke mostly for scouting here, Jake?
It's mostly for scouting. He's trying to pick off those Banes if he can, because he knows that the second those Banes go away, and those 2 upgrades of his kick in simultaneously, that third of his opponents is going to be canceled. It's going to be forced to be canceled, while Jake is simultaneously holding his own.
Yep.
So, see, Jake had a bunch of Lings just kind of sitting back as natural, wasn't trying to show all of them, but now he's going to try to run in, hopefully catch a couple Banes on stop position. See, like...
Got it.
Oh, I got
Go
it.
on.
Now he just kind of keeps moving in, engaging, pulling off a couple Lings, trying to hit that Bane.
So notice he's still building Lings at this point.
Yeah. He's trying to pressure here. I don't want to say something and give something away. But there's something Jake could be doing right now. Actually, look at that control against those 2 Banes. Wow.
Nice. You only lost like about 8 or 10 of them with 2 Banes. That's pretty good, man.
He thinks he's so good too. So he forces the kill here on the natural. He's gonna try to poke in here. Scouts the Bane.
It's pretty much kill move right here. Like he's building non-stop Lings at this point.
Yeah,
I just had it on Jake's position. So, I'm not really sure. But if there's no Banes, then yeah, it's over. Simultaneously taking Lair. Let's get his third up. Really clean at it. Ooh,
And he went mutas, so that's
wow.
like even better for me.
Yeah, it's auto GG. Like, Jake could even lose the third from here, and it wouldn't matter.
Or you could drop 1 sport each base and like kill off mutas.
So talk to us that. So right now you're just building a spore at each base, and then.
So right now he can't even be aggressive with his mutas. The first second he's aggressive, he guarantees to die.
Yeah,
Jake can just spam Lings, because like Lings base trade versus mutas, obviously, right? Like they do much higher DPS, even without the extra upgrade.
Right.
So yeah, the second Jake Bake leaves his base, it's over. But, yeah, he can't
Also,
even-
another thing about like that, like let's say he held that off and he held his third or something, I would have stopped making drones, or stopped making Lings. I would have made a round of drones for my third, and I actually would have went mutas myself, even after seeing him go mutas.
Why is that?
And, well, for one, usually they don't
Yeah,
ever
that's-
expect it. Like, it's like a new metagame, because the new muta thing is like they make 8 mutas and they switch to roaches, right? Or roach infester or something. Usually not even infestors that fast. Usually just like switch to like double evo roaches or something. Especially if I'm going like heavy ling upgrades, right? Because they're anticipating infestors themselves. So mutas throw out like a huge like mind screw to them.
That's an interesting choice. Wow. Okay. Because you're starting behind, but obviously you have way more resources than him. So you.
Well, usually you have like 4 or 5 hatcheries with that kind of style. Because I'm getting gases so late, I have all that extra income to where I can. It's like it's okay to make a couple extra spore colonies or something to defend mutas or extra queen or something.
Right. So we're going to do Ohana this game. One last question I had for EGIC, and that last one is, during that pressure that you had with lings, and I know you had like a round of lings coming out, you know, even when you were pressuring the natural, you know, like just poking a little bit, then, you know, I could understand like, okay, once those lings came out, you were definitely going to just pressure the third really hardcore, right?
Right.
And my question is like, you know, a lot of people, you know, with that kind of pressure, they would have droned behind it because your third finished like during it, right? Just to saturate the third, you would have had like you know a whole round, but you decided just to full out, you know, continue building lings. So at what point did you? At what point was it like kill move basically?
Once I saw pretty much, you know, I had a big round of lings, I knew that there's no way he's gonna, as long as I control my lings like, you know, any kind of decent, I knew that there was no way I was going to be able to not be able to break that. He didn't have any roaches. I knew he was either going mutas or upgraded lings himself, but since his upgrades didn't kick in, it was like almost like a given that he was going mutas because no roaches ever showed. And so even if he has a third base, let's say, and I have a third base, but I never droned mine up, but I have the upgrade advantage with my zerglings, the minute he drones up that base, he's guaranteed to lose because he just missed a round of units that I didn't stop producing, right?
Sure. Right.
Or vice versa. So if I would have droned up, then it could have gave him the opportunity where he could have droned up too, and then my zerglings might not have been as effective later on.
Right. Yeah, it's a little bit of, I guess the reason I asked is because, you know, a lot of folks, whenever the action's on your opponent's side of the base, you know, when you have just momentum on your side, that's usually a time to drone, right? That's kind of like I guess a very high level philosophy. So yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see you just basically continue to be aggressive with your larva.
Well, it's almost like I had no reason not to be aggressive. Like if I would have, let's say I would have made that first attack and I would have got crushed or something, I would have droned up or something, right? I would just fell back the minute that engagement started looking bad for me.
Right. Well, I mean, see, that's an interesting thing because, like, I feel like, let's just say one of the Banes lands, right? Kills half your army, then you know the counterattack is impending, right? So
you had 1 armor.
I have 1 armor, so 1 Bane means like nothing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh yeah.
If I let 2 Banelings like evaporate my army, then I know that I should probably not play this game anymore.
Oh man, that's what I like to hear.
I'm pretty harsh on myself when it comes to like stuff that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean that's really important when you're talking about being at the highest level, right?
Right.
Bane control. All right, Bryce, your turn. So we're gonna see pretty similar opening here, or?
No, not at all.
Okay, different.
I'm opening hatch first. I'm gonna go 15, 16 pool, 17 gas, and I actually prefer roaches on this map. Jake might as well, actually.
Yeah, roaches are good here. Muta openings are also good here, though.
Really, I don't know. I have no luck with Muta in general, because like everyone hits with roach times, and I don't build much spines. So I just go roach.
Okay, well I guess that makes sense then if you want to look at it like that.
Alright, so hatch first. Go ahead and just use that Overlord Scout as third. My 17 Overlord Scouts in front of my main, so I can scout any sort of lane pressure early on.
Okay.
And because I know he's going hatch first, I'm not worried about any sort of early timings. Are we supposed to be mixing in cheese in these sessions?
We'll talk about that. Yeah, not the first 2, at least.
Yeah, that's kind of
yeah, we'll have a little bit of that, and we'll have a little bit of like defensive cheese, you know, just defending against cheese here. Hopefully, we have enough time.
All right, got his queens going.
The first 2 lings are going to scout for a Bane Nest or Roach Warren, so I know exactly what I'm up against.
But see, I feel like that sometimes can hurt you as much as help you, because what if you scout a Baneling Nest building, your Zerglings die, and he cancels it, but you're imagining a Baneling Nest is there, like you're expecting it. So in the same way that you're getting information out of it, it could also hurt you to where you think that information's there when it's really not.
Good point, sir.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, should you just be constantly sending pairs in? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, literally,
it would be a constant thing, pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean,
because you're right. Mind games, especially eventually, I can just envision what the highest level StarCraft 2 will be, in the future or in the end, and it'll be like mind games constantly, and those type of things you're talking about. That's a nice little 2 Zergling Queen block there.
Why would you put your Baneling nest there, Bryce?
There's no reason to. The drone was just there. I have 16 drones in my main, and I saw one transferring, and I didn't want to pull one out of my main.
Because if he was like going to try to run in your base, that'd be like he would like see it instantly. If it was there.
That's true.
Maybe it's because I wanted to cancel it. Huh?
Yeah.
No, you're not
right.
You're not smart enough to think about that, machine.
Oh god. Thank you. See you.
Heart.
Funny. Alright,
Your
drone
base
count. Let's
is
see
up.
what we're looking at. Okay. Cool.
Shouldn't you have a couple of Zerglings morphing into Banelings,
Yep.
like defensive? Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, I don't even need it.
Look at that timing for machine. Banelings pop up right as Zerglings get there.
Exactly.
Today, sir, all about timings and builds.
It is.
Okay, so right now, what are you thinking right now, Bryce? Like, you saw some of those
third.
things moving around. Okay, there we go.
I see what's over there. Yeah, I need to hold my third. I'm going basically like standard roach opening. Just gonna try to hold this third. So I'm basically just gonna be trying to produce like non-stop wings at the moment.
Oh.
You saw that. You saw that drone popping out there. Alright, so both of you guys seem to be doing pretty similar things. But he was definitely more aggressive, right? So
Yeah, he definitely was.
He's got to protect those Banelings morphing, which he didn't do.
he didn't, but he got some free hits though. But yeah, I guess he did lose the gas.
I would say this is the absolute like most standard style of like ZvZ.
Yeah.
Especially, at least maybe it used to be. I don't know. Now I'm seeing a lot more different things mixed in. Wow.
Ouch.
I don't even know if his Baneling that was that hit, but that was
Yeah.
dang.
Alright, so you see a ton of Zerglings now. But you're pumping out roaches now.
And see, once he gets like the roaches out, he can hold this third like no problem, because roaches are so at this point like really cost efficient versus like low numbers of lings.
Right.
Yep.
So at what point do you get lair in all this?
Now. I actually needed it a while ago. I thought it was mine, this thing guys using my main.
You get it before you get a single roach, or?
No, probably like right afterwards.
Okay.
It's actually a bit delayed.
Okay. And the upgrades are really late too, right? In this style. Oh, actually, no, you're getting range right now. Okay. Still got in. You can kind of see what he's doing now. Losing a lot of lings here and there, though.
Yeah.
He's definitely getting cost efficiency in all the engagements there. Okay, so there are the mutas. Responding with spores. Any need for additional queens?
Yeah, I should have 2 extra balloon actually.
So Jake, he's going to be going Infestor attack here, correct? Or
Yeah, he has. It's either Infestor or Hydra, depending on which he fills. Which
I'll go.
I would always go Infestor, but
I tend to agree, sir.
well, the thing is, he like already has his third base up. So if you're matching Hydra, you're not even really going to be that cost efficient until you get a huge ball of them. Like I don't even know if you could kill the mutas
yeah,
if he
there's so
continues to
many
make
of them,
him or
right?
something.
Yeah.
Right. I do like that Machine threw down some queens. I wish he'd throw down some more creep tumors and like start spreading creep, maybe like towards his opponent.
I do need to.
Transfuse. A lot of mutas though.
It is a lot.
Once those infestors get out of here though.
The infestors are still a long ways off.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 mutas there with that 1 spore. I guess the question is, can he lose? I mean, he's counterattacking right now. So can he lose?
Can he
third
sack the third?
Yeah, and get back in this.
It's possible, but unlikely. I mean, anything's possible in this matchup for sure. But the thing is, his opponent's already switched out and started going roaches as well.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the real problem. If he was still going Muta, I would say absolutely, because Mutas, man, you can throw away a game by making too many Mutas.
Yeah. One nice fungal and you're just screwed.
Yep. That's it. Once Burrow gets done, it's possible to do a lot more harass type oriented stuff as well. Like to help you get back into the game by killing a lot of drones, you know, send 2 infestors into the main, 2 infestors to the third or something. It's very possible that way. Has to retake the third now though, which he is, so that's good. And yeah, it's all about just playing absolutely perfect and getting the most out of your units, because at this point you know that your opponent's going to have more units than you, so you just have to be that much more cost efficient. It all just comes down to control and like positioning, so choosing your fight properly.
Alright. Yeah, it's so hard to stop. So one thing about infestors, though, I mean, it's kind of the same. Let's just talk after this battle. Roaches are. A couple more roaches being rallied up there. Those queens are going to be doing some work here.
Just trying to pick them off, Burrow.
Oh, what's he got for a fungal?
Yeah, you got enough.
Oh, there it is. Oh, get him, get him.
Needs 1 more though.
There, oh, nice. Okay, killed off. That was a good
It's always
exchange
like that too. It's always like, man, if only I had 1 more fungal.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was a good. I mean, that was a very cost-efficient trade for you. I mean, you lost. Unfortunately, you had to cancel your third, but.
Yeah, that was the.
I mean, that's
the
all
only
he
big thing.
needs at this point, just to keep delaying the third.
Pretty much.
So yeah, I mean, the thing I was going to get to is it's kind of a question I've been asking other Zergs, particularly in GBT matchup, is really the cost efficiency of fungal if they split. You know, I know it's really hard to split roaches, you know, and even more so than like Spring Marines, but like, does this strategy get much weaker if they split really well?
Yeah, but it's so hard to do, and then they also like sacrifice making like bad engagements by splitting too much.
Alright, here we go. Let's see everybody. Nice can pull off a
Better get all them queens.
minor miracle here. There's a good fungal.
Transfuse.
A lot of DPS right there.
Yeah, you just have to pull back.
Yeah.
Or that.
It was over.
Right.
Yeah, it was just couldn't establish your third again.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
that. Was your infestor timing just a little bit late? Is that
No,
really,
my
or-
macro was really bad. I was stacking like 900 minerals. I needed a macro hatch. I should have had like proper defense at my third.
so? When you say proper defense, would it have been
Like
more queens or more
more spores?
more spores? Okay.
See, I actually, like, even though that's how the game ended and stuff, I would actually label that more so that Jake Bake did a absolutely greedy as can be muta build. Like, there is no way you can. He didn't make a spine crawler and went straight to mutas, and that should like. That's the reason, like, in the game versus me, he instantly died when I went like the mass Ling Infestor style, because he couldn't make it past the Ling part or something, right? Because upgraded Lings will always beat that strategy because you have to have static defense there as well. There's no way you can take such a fast third. There's a lot of things that go into it while you're trying to go muta as well.
Right.
So he pretty much got away with murder versus Bryce with a really fast.
That's why I was wondering if we were allowed to like cheese too.
Exactly. Okay, let's. Okay, what do you want to do? Y'all want to do cheese builds here?
Well, I mean, we could just switch it up. Like,
I don't have cheese builds in this matchup, to be honest. Like, I have 10 pull and you send all your drones, but I mean, everybody's seen that. That's not gonna like impress anyone.
Right, exactly. Okay, so why don't we continue with the same thing for now? You know, I'll definitely have him mix it up a little bit, you know, against you guys this round, and see, you know, we'll just see what happens. And okay, so Jake's in.
I like this map. It's a good map.
Yeah. Oh, Antigua? Yeah. It's a good one. Alright, let's start it up. Okay, so about 4 spores would have been good there, I think, Bryce?
Yeah, probably 2 more spores. Because I basically just have to survive. I did enough like damage with my early roach Ling timing.
Right. And you mentioned creep spread too, Jake. Talk to me about creep spread in ZvZ, because.
All right. Well, when your mutas are, when your opponent's going mutas and you're forced to make all those extra queens and stuff, creep spread, like queens can make the difference, can make or break a battle for you. Like, so many people underestimate the power of a queen. Like, if you think of it, that a queen is 150 minerals and 2 supply, which is the same supply as 1 roach, but that queen later on in the game can bring back a roach from the dead practically like 4 times. So how effective can that 1 queen be in an actual battle?
Also shoots ground to air and costs minerals.
Yep. It doesn't take larva. It's built from the hatchery.
Yep. There's a lot of advantages.
Yeah, the queen is transfuse is such a huge thing. People are just starting to finally realize because of how many queens are Red's building now.
Yep.
It was always only used on certain units, you know. It wasn't really used that much on like roaches and stuff before.
For some reason my Overlord didn't build. I thought it did. It never even built. So we're going the latest Overlord ever. But it's fine. I'm gonna show you guys the power of queens this game.
Alright.
You will be impressed.
I know what you're doing.
Machine knows.
Yeah, this is good.
I was at the Arizona house when I came up with this crap. It was sick good.
Oh, I've seen it too. I saw you do it to Fitzy like a few nights ago. Because Fitzy was copying you. Actually, Fitzy was copying you, and you did
Fitzy now says that he came up with it. So.
I saw that whole thing.
That's so messed up.
I saw that whole thing when you were
It's total BS, but I don't really care. Like it's dumb. But,
it's so funny because like I actually showed the same thing to Stanishawa too. Now he uses it a ton.
No, he got the Ice Fisher branded on it, trademarked on it.
That's so funny how that works. Like every single build Jake makes gets stolen.
I know. Apparently Moro did like the 6 racks or the 5 racks Reaper or something, right? Like what the fuck, right?
So
like no, he didn't invent it. He's just the first person to win money off of it, or the only person to win money off of it.
Yeah, work on your branding, man.
I know, man. Seriously, I'm gonna start taking stuff to Reddit myself.
You're an EG player. You should have this easy. All you guys should be having builds named after you.
Jake's just so quiet, man. He wants to be one of those lurkers who's going to sit back and win a tournament with one of his builds, and then everyone keeps copying it.
He doesn't
want to start branding it his build, because then everyone will know what it is.
That's kind of true, in a way. How long did I practice that build and like kept it so undercover?
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's how games used to be, right? I mean, theory crafting and coming up with your own builds, that used to be a huge part of RTS games, you know, before replays and such, right? So
yeah.
I kind of miss a little bit of that.
Me too.
I think it's really, I think a lot of special, like the kind of savants, guys that are really good at doing that. I feel like they're under. I mean, their value is pretty much removed because you can do it one tournament and then everybody in the world knows about it.
Heart of the Swarm Swarm, man. Heart of the Swarm. Oh man, me and Jake are gonna come up with some crazy stuff.
It's gonna be. Yeah, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be so great because not only will a lot of people come out of the woodworks and start start back in the game, but yeah, I think strategies are just gonna be. It's gonna be like day one again, which is really, really cool. Well, I don't think we'll see any planetary fortress rushes or anything like that, but... Okay, so we opening the same way you did last game?
Yep, same exact way.
Got a spine.
Well, not really. I mean...
Yeah, these are like two queen, like as far as like pool hatch, yeah.
Yeah, pool hatch at least. The opening is the same.
He scouts early speed here.
But you're building a third queen, or fourth queen.
Fourth queens, yeah. He's just going to use these early queens to spread creep and defend. Putting down a second spine crawler to play it safe. And, even though he's scouted these early speedlings, he's not going to overcommit. Like, he knows exactly what he's up against.
Alright, so how many queens are you going up to early here?
4. We're stopping at 4 for a little while.
Alright, so just save the drones here.
That's the attempt without taking too much damage or casualties. But I mean, at the end, like, yeah, I lost a couple drones, but it'll be fine.
It's not as many larvae as his opponent spent on those speedlings.
Yeah, that's
pretty much. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it at the moment. I'm also going to. I also adjusted my build quite a bit, Bryce, and I actually throw down a roach warren much earlier now.
Yeah, I noticed. So you can pressure, right?
Right.
Oh, it's for pressuring and not for defense. I thought maybe it was for defense, actually.
Frick.
Oh, but. Oh, that's one landed. Okay.
Oh, that was bad.
Well, only one landed though, right?
Well,
no.
Actually, if you look, I killed one of the drones.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, I lost a lot of drones.
Oh, 7 there. Oh, wow. Well, I guess a few of them got hurt during that first.
Well, no, it was 2 Banes. You didn't see the first one. The first one exploded previous.
Oh, okay.
It'll be okay though.
Yeah.
I'll make it work. I'll make it work.
Well, you've been able to be just, you've been able to just drone non-stop because of you play defensive here, so definitely good.
So early third hatchery, Evo chambers, taking all the other 3 Vespene geysers.
So on another map, would that third hatchery have been at a base?
No.
Okay.
No.
It could be any map.
Okay, so it's always macro. Okay.
Here we go. Where's my overlord?
You just transfuse.
Alright, now you see it's kind of a roach.
Yep, so we'll pause our upgrades for now because we don't need the upgrades, just need to make sure we take as little damage as possible.
Alright, got roaches coming out here. Yeah, this is the reason why I thought you built the earlier roach warren, actually. But alright, let's see it. Transfuse on the spine, and another.
And even though I lose some units, he committed a lot to this, like early on.
Yeah.
Energy. Go to transfuse. Going to continue producing from 3 hatcheries. I'll start building my queens back.
Good timing on the back up there. That was really nice. Got some Ling reinforcement here. Drones doing some work.
Yeah, man. Drones are good.
Yeah. And they're not going to be attacking the drones because they're so concerned with the roaches. He didn't lose any there, I don't think.
Yeah, he didn't
lost one drone. That whole thing.
So now I'll start making all my queens back. I'll start upgrading. Get my gases back going.
And he just now scouts the third one was up on that.
Yeah, so it's like that's not scary at all because now I'm running 3 hatcheries this whole time as well. So.
Right.
Just look at the supply.
Yeah, that's the reason, right? I mean, you're able to just Well, you have that many more larvae, so you're able just to pump like a third more units than him, or maybe 50% more units than him, actually. Yeah. So when do you take your actual base, third base?
I don't. He'll die before I take a third base.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Like, even if he gets his third base up, I'll outplay him 2v3, like, the whole time. And it's not like I'm just saying this guy, I'm saying in general. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, I did this versus TSL Hyun that I beat him. I did this versus Destiny, like, name it. It's, 2v3, and it's not that bad. So now I've sent some of my overlords out as well, at this point. And I spread some of this, I'm going to spread the rest of the creep with overlords to make like a quick trail.
But this is going to be pure Roach Queen, or I know you
pure Roach Queen.
Okay. So
we do switch to Hydra. There is a Hydra
Hydra
transition, but it's way after the first one.
Okay. Gotcha.
So it's nothing anytime soon.
Okay.
Like I'll already push before I switch.
What's the trigger for the attack? Okay, +1, I guess.
1-1.
1-1.
1-1's a good time. I mean, really, it's just you scout out your opponent, you see what looks good, and then you go from there. So it's no necessarily dead timing that I'm looking for, but I'm just getting a lot of queens. I'm getting a lot of the stuff that I need, like energy for my queens and stuff as well. And so once I think these queens come out, I'll probably push and start being aggressive.
Creep highway, love it. I haven't seen it in so long, man.
See, but now I have such a good economy, I can go ahead and expand anyways. Don't have to. Probably wouldn't like 99% of my games, but this game, why not?
All right, so that's really interesting. So 3 hatch. I mean, you can support 3 hatch larva with 2 base. Cool. That's kind of
with queen production.
Yeah.
Yeah, with queen production.
Yep. Which why not, right?
Right.
You worried about the win count?
All your units costing.
No, I'm not really worried about it. Like I have more units coming.
He's probably like, what the?
Yeah, right.
10 queens.
Couldn't you just like send the queens and roaches and then use your rally to clean that up? Oh.
Yeah, I could have.
That's pretty funny to look at, actually.
He actually has a couple of Banes coming up here.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Good spot there.
Alright, so now he has
just
a lot of roaches.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I build an overseer with my army just to make sure
I
can handle this. And I'm expecting a counterattack because I don't think he can actually kill me straight up. So I feel like he's going to counterattack me this whole time. Like I see a roach coming down here too, so...
Oh, here we go. Actually, you're going to surround this.
Yeah, this will be okay. I mean, even if I lose my third base, which is probably going to happen,
He's gonna throw away a lot of units.
Oh, actually, he's going to have a good concave, though.
It's alright, my units won't die.
Look at this micro, look at this transfuse at the front line here.
He has so much extra DPS with those queens too, because they have a range that can actually sit behind these roaches. You look at the roaches.
Look at that, and that was like, I mean, he had a much superior concave than you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's transfuse for you guys. It's like 4 times however many queens you have. That's how many.
So now I keep making queens, but I'm also getting my Hydralist in. Like I lost that hatchery, but I usually don't even have it, so it's like not even there for them to counterattack if they wanted to.
His opponent lost all his units just to kill that hatchery.
Yeah.
There's no retreat route.
And again, I mean, your retention of your queens too. It feels like medevac retention right there. If you were to.
Their medevacs that deal damage too. That's the best part.
Yeah, that's true. There's the concave again, but who cares, right? Move up a little, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Just have to keep in range of the queens so I can keep healing.
Yeah.
Keep that heal spam. And so, yeah, he's been mining a third base, but it's like it just doesn't matter. Like you can't just go roaches versus this and win.
You just
it's not
rally.
possible.
That's a cool build right there.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. What do you lose to? Or do you not
bad
wanna say?
execution is actually usually the thing. Like,
Alright.
to be honest, it's more of like I execute it really poorly than I lose to anything.
I see. Still got a lot of roaches, but again.
Jake just hit 2-2.
Should move up though, still. Yeah. It's funny because Jake Bacon had the superior concave every single time.
Yep.
Just, it don't
Jake,
matter.
you gotta rally.
Yeah.
Don't I have it rallied? Oh, no I don't. Just half my army sitting in the middle.
Exactly.
But it's okay, I'm gonna win the game with like 30% of it. It's fine. Don't worry, he's pulling drones. Time to transfuse.
Goodness. Run him over. Wow. Alright, good stuff.
Yeah, it's a really tough build.
Yeah, man. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do against that because early on it's completely safe, right? And
Yep. Yeah, Jake Big did super, like, pretty heavy, like, roach timing against it, and it didn't even matter.
yeah, exactly.
Like, it was kind of close, but, you know, Jake was also up 10 drones, or more than that, actually, 12 drones, and that's what it took to make it close. Yeah.
Good stuff. So we're gonna start calling that the EGLzGaMeR build. Everybody
Sure.
get that?
Sure.
Everybody out there get that, right? That's the EGLzGaMeR build.
Yep.
Oh, where's Fizzy? Fizzy's gonna jump
Roach
on
queen
this.
timing.
Alright, here we go. Alright, Bryce, your turn.
Alrighty.
Let's see, let me get you in here. Where's Jake? There you are.
Thank you.
Okay.
What you gonna show us this game, Machine? Are we gonna see the victory screen?
Yes, I see that for sure.
Alright.
I don't know, this is not bad. I'm always tempted to go Ling Infestor because of the ramp, but then I realize it's a huge ramp.
This is a good Ling Infestor map.
Yeah, I don't know. Once again, man, that Roach Bane timing, I'm telling you, it's good.
I don't know. I gotta see it.
Alright, might have to do it this game then.
Yeah, I mean the same one that he. Oh, you. I mean you doing it or him doing it?
Me doing it.
Okay, you doing it. Cool.
This is-
All right, let's do it.
What makes it so scary? The banelings or the roaches?
Kind of both. Things kind of just kill everything. They're like little racers. And then you still have like a standing army of like 12 roaches behind it. I don't know. It's honestly just a solid timing. And the fact it doesn't really put you all in, because like I don't actually think they can hold a third with it. So you know, worst comes to worst, you just fall back.
I see.
And just run up behind it.
That's not my APM, guys. That's Machine's APM.
Could you imagine if that was observing APM? It'd be like all over the place.
It could be.
This is MLG version, right? I forgot.
Actually, it might not be. Yeah.
It's not?
It's not, but it.
It won't matter.
Yeah, it won't matter. It's not the bad spot. I'll tell you that right now. MLG's not force cross, right? It's just not.
Yeah, you just can't spawn
Yeah.
across from your opponent.
Yeah, just from.
It's either diagonal or
or vertical. Yeah.
vertical. Yeah. It's okay. Your overlords just pass each other. I mean, you can stop it, Bryce.
Okay.
Just calm down. Just calm down.
It's all good. It's all good.
Alright, so we're opening up again with a 15 hatch. And you don't feel like this is risky at all, Bryce?
Oh, I do.
Opening hatch first? Okay, you do?
Yeah. Like 10 pulls are pretty rough, honestly.
I mean,
Or like 7 pulls in all.
I feel like we could debate this all night, but I mean, is it worth that versus being just slightly ahead? I mean, that's.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's more one of those things like the Koreans are still going hatch first on a pretty regular basis, so I don't really want to deviate from it. I don't know. And I also have like all the timings down for hatchery first, like really cleanly, whereas I've barely really worked on like cool hatch at all. but it's definitely
Fair enough.
something I intend to work on. Well, these spots are going to be tricky. A little alley. It's going to make the...
Sorry guys, the scene switcher didn't make that change, so they've been staring at Jake's not shaking his head.
Oh, they've been watching me like shake my head and stuff.
That's funny.
Good times, good times. All
Okay,
right,
so talk to us. So the Roach Bane timing, 2 base saturation or before?
2 base saturation.
Okay.
Definitely. I don't know. It's honestly just really solid timing. Like I said, they can't really hold a third of it.
Right.
It's good on maps with like wide open naturals, and which this is definitely one of them.
So it's a killing build then, right? It's not like I'm gonna hurt his economy or hurt.
It can. That's what I'm saying, because like it's, I don't know. I find myself not quite killing them, but like crippling them.
Okay. So let's say you attack them, do no damage. Are you dead?
Yeah, but it's impossible because it's banelings to do like no damage. Like Roach
Right,
Bane,
of course,
it's just going to do damage.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Gotcha.
I should just.
Well, he likes that double ling queen block there. Smart.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, building Bane nest now. Just a precautionary. Well, actually, in this case, it's actually for your timing. But.
Well, it's like it transitions out of a standard opening. That's why I like it so much. So it's just the same exact opening I would have normally.
Right.
Well, that's good then. If it's like a hard to read build.
Yeah, I always like that kind of stuff. Yeah. So even if you were to scout, what would you see right there? It's the exact same thing. So here's what changes. Down these 2 brains. Roach one. And just take the second best one guys in my name. Overlords. Oh wow. It's like a 7 Roach rush.
Technically 8.
Technically 8, nice. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one's gonna be tough, actually. Oh, let's land low. That's a good land. But if you hold this, you're almost guaranteed to win this, right?
Yeah, he's on low econ.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't think it's gonna happen though. He's just skipped up aiming this. This is the advantage Jake was talking about earlier.
Oh, skipping it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Just, I don't know. Because you're like not dedicating the resources to playing safe early on, it just gives you stronger timings.
I see. Alright, we're gonna have you run again, dude. That was too short.
Alright.
Yeah, we're not gonna let you jump in again.
Yeah,
what map? You choose the map,
I would
man.
really like to see this build like executed properly.
Okay, just go like Antigua.
Antigua, okay. Go MLG Antigua.
I don't know. He knows I'm not just gonna play it safe for him. He's kind of.
Well, it's funny because I mean I can just tell you like I actually just told him to do just 2 base all in variation on you. So I guess the question is is your build safe against that? I mean in particular.
I needed to scout again. Yeah, it typically is.
Okay. And I mean, how would you have countered it? You would have built more spines, or
like just 1 more spine and he would have held it.
Yeah,
like
that's
it actually doesn't take a lot because he has banelings, so like the ling reinforcements isn't the problem. It's actually just the initial roach attack. So if the roach attack's like held off just even for a few seconds, then it's like a walk in the park to defend.
Right, gotcha. Okay, here we go. I don't know who this guy is. Sorry, buddy. Sweep, watch stream if you want. Oh. I guess he's a friend of them. Friend of Jake Biggs. Big thanks to Jake Big Against, guys, for helping us out tonight, being the playing partner, and big shout out to Team for Not too. Really good small team that's trying to get things going. All right, let's see. Okay, so we're gonna do the Roach Bane timing again.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sounds good.
Dude, Machine is a keyboard warrior, man. I'm hearing that thing go.
Exactly.
Nice.
It's the funniest part is you'd have to actually see Bryce play, because you know every time you hear that clicking noise, it's actually just his index finger. He has the fastest index finger you've ever seen.
You can't give me hate for that. I mean, it's really not.
The fastest index finger. Just he has to be he's got it spamming off of the index finger too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I really am.
They
always say that because I used to, like, long time ago. But I've, like, since changed it.
It's changed it.
Yeah.
He was like a 6-year veteran using the index finger on there.
Yep.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
That's alright.
Gotcha.
Was like a 6-year pro of not using the keyboard or hotkeys, so it's pretty much just mouth only it.
Oh, I see. Like, you mean like my dad typing with one finger?
Yep.
Gotcha. I thought you meant like when he spams, he's just like literally just tapping his finger, like his index finger up and down the whole time.
No.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
So you take your gas actually after your pull this, right?
Yep. Yeah, I just find it safer. There's no reason really not to.
How many gas total do you go up to?
What do you mean?
Like, by the
2.
time you hit, are you gonna have 2? Okay. Yeah.
You can't get +1 in timer phone, so there's only really the need for 2.
Okay.
Alright, now you probably see that he's...
I want to make sure I actually got the hatchery, so
Yeah, he's expanding now.
Now, Bryce, since you already have an overlord right outside its base, do you ever put an overlord behind, like, top left of the map, to where you could see, like, mineral patches and stuff?
No. I kind of used to, but I think I should really get back into the habit of doing that.
It's really good in this situation, because you could tell and see if he, especially since you know he opened with an aggressive build, to where if he doesn't have a lot of drones or he's not mining or producing from that base, then you can automatically assume that's going to be really aggressive, right?
Yeah. Well, this queen's definitely telling me it's something pretty aggressive.
I guess with that overlord question, I guess it's really a choice of whether you want to get that overlord to the 3rd kind of early too, because his overlord's in the 3rd, right? If you didn't have that overlord there, it'd take a long time to get another overlord over there, right?
Yeah, it definitely would, for sure.
But I know what you mean. Yeah, that's definitely worth thinking about. Okay, so now you know he's got some lings and pressure in it, got speed. Gonna save your drones.
And Bryce is just waiting till his Baneley nest is done. He's going to make a couple Banelings and be able to hold this off without any problems. The only thing for Bryce to make sure is that he's not overcommitting into defending this. Like, he doesn't know if this is like all in or what, because he lost that one overlord that was kind of important. So if he makes too many links, he's actually behind. If he doesn't make enough, he dies, kind of thing.
Right.
Ouch.
5.
Yep.
Got 5 there.
So after all
The end of
that,
the world.
he actually kind of like evened it up.
Yeah.
Like.
Alright, get a scout of his base.
It's got a bunch of spin geysers going down.
Yep. You also scouted the lair.
Yep. So I was doing some more tech things than last time.
It's gonna be a big bane. Oh my
Oh.
god. That was a huge bane bust there.
That Bane.
Killed like 20 lings there. Alright, found the banes, clearing it up. Alright, that attack not doing much damage for Jake Bake. Puts him really far behind, right?
Yeah.
And then I also know he's teching behind it, so like this Roach Bane bust would actually be perfect.
Yeah, I'm really confused on what Jake Bake is doing this game.
It's really greedy. Like, he's just playing extremely greedy, right?
It's not really greedy because he built like
I wouldn't even say greedy. I would say just on the lines of like
he built
bad.
a crap load of lanes. I mean,
I don't know. I felt like if he would have built drones, this would have been good. But he built like lanes and did like an aggression, so like messed everything kind of up.
okay, so all those things are going to turn to banes here, right? Just
Yep.
oh, can you see that? Let's see. No, you can't see that, but it don't matter. It don't matter if you can see it.
I'm gonna start taking layer behind this.
This sounds like the conversation we had offline right before the show about 10 spines against Roach Bane. Let's see how it goes. Oh, what happened? Banes were definitely not that.
He sent
Useful
2
there.
Banes and kind of sniped his own Banes. That's what happened.
Oh, is that what happened?
That's what happened.
I'm in the house. This line's not as bad as this?
Yeah,
I think we
exactly.
definitely should just get earlier.
Yeah, I know. I know, Jay. Alright, so Muta, so obviously going to build plenty of spores. You got plenty of drones to throw in spores. Third base, probably going to lose it, right?
Yep.
Can't really do much about it.
Yeah. Not really.
Okay, so you're going to go Infestor here? Okay.
Yep. Infestor.
It's perfectly
Scout.
okay though that he like lost his third because his opponent doesn't even have a third. So
Yeah, it's kind of even.
Scout.
I guess it really just depends on how much damage Jake Bake gets done with these metas, right?
right. He needs to do a lot of damage to be honest. One queen kind of blocked the other queen from running away.
Yeah, I
Looks like there's a backstabbing going on in the colony.
know. Yeah, right?
A couple tit-tats here and there when you're not looking.
Mm-hmm. Those are really good spore placements though. Like there's nowhere mutas can attack without spores like hitting them.
Yeah, that's a good thing about this map. Actually, are mutas really that good on this map? Because I feel like you can, between the 3 bases, you can really cover that perimeter easily, actually.
I think mutas are okay on almost every map. Like I think they're okay on a lot. The thing about mutas is it depends on your early game and how you get to them. Like if you're really far behind when you go mutas, then a lot of times you just end up where you just can't come back, right? Because mutas have to do too much damage. But if you're ahead and you get mutas, do muta play, then a lot of times it just puts you that much further ahead.
Right. Okay, so you're going Nidus. All right.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, Roach Queen. Nidus is really good. I've seen so many comeback victories with that composition.
I always forget about Nidus. Nidus is definitely something that I haven't utilized yet in my play.
Especially mid game ZvZ, it's really strong. Nobody spreads that creep enough around the perimeter of the base.
It's true, and no one spreads their overlords like they should either.
Yeah. Well, against Muta it's hard, right? But
well.
Yeah.
True.
Actually, how are you going to get that Nidus? Oh, you're putting the Nidus there. Okay, I thought you were going to go try to get in base.
Nah, he just wants to put it outside so that queens don't have to walk all the way. That noise, man. He knows he's in trouble.
He's looking in his base. Look, that's your first reaction. Now you can get to the third.
That would be mine too. I would definitely like sack the third if I was him.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a scary army. That's so many queens. Look at that.
And infestors too to hold those mutas down.
He feels committed though.
Oh, that's a nice bungle.
See that transfuse micro?
Yeah, you got 2 more. Oh,
the heck?
I think I did more shit. Oh no. Oh, actually.
Run back into the Nidus.
Yeah, run back in the Nidus, save the queen for the infestors.
Well, or pull them out. Either or. If you have more units in there. Transfuse.
Rally though, those queens are definitely going to be gone. Alright, considering that you were droning, right? So it's you got a round at least in there.
Yeah, I'm
Third
actually
should be saturated. I think you're kind of oversaturated too. Yeah, there you go.
Your main's definitely oversaturated, considering there's only 4 mineral patches.
Back up, back up. Close. Battles are close. Land it, fungal. Alright, so you should clean it up with the rally here.
You're all my investors over there.
Looks like JBig's just going pure roads, right? These lanes will help though. Lane number of
sure.
Yeah. Nice overseer. Roaches everywhere. Upgrades. He's actually ahead in upgrades. Alright, so talk to us about that one. That was...
It was just sloppy control, sloppy macro. What messes me up actually is whenever I have to pull my queens, I'm used to doing that whole like spam tilde WV, and so like wasn't injecting, and then I was stacking.
Right. Yeah, that gets all messed up, especially when they're close to each other like that, right? It really gets messed up.
Exactly.
All right, how about one last one, Jake? Whatever your cheesiest build is.
I have another cheese.
You have another cheese?
Sure.
All right. Let's let Bryce go. Bryce gotta get one here. Come on.
Seriously, I'm.
All right, here we go.
I don't really have cheese. I have lots of standard different builds though. If you want me to do one of those.
No, I don't think we have time for a standard one. That's why I was going with cheese.
Yeah, well, 10 pull is not that cool to watch, so.
Yeah. Well, it can be cool.
I guess it can be.
Whenever there's a guy that defends it pretty well too. It's tense. Those queen and one ling blocking the ramp type of tense. Crazy. But viewers, we're going to be doing Q&A right after this. So get your questions ready. You can ask your questions live on Skype by adding me on Skype. My ID is ChanmanV, so why don't you guys start doing that, and then we'll pull you into the call. You can ask your questions live. And it doesn't have to be about ZvZ. It could be about anything. You can ask them. You can ask these guys anything you want. Can't guarantee they'll answer them, but you can ask them anything you want. All right. So what build, right? We're gonna be seeing here.
I'd rather just do it.
Okay, just do it.
Jake might know.
I might. I'm paying attention.
You'll probably be able to tell
I
right
got you
there.
on the first person cam.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, it's going to be 14 something now. Alright, 15 hatch. Scouting hatch.
You want to do 15 interviews? Why? That's how we talk to those different approaches doing bringing folks together. Okay.
I have a feeling I know what machine's gonna do. I can feel it.
Yeah, are we mixing games?
Alright, so you gonna do like the eco mass zergling build?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, or what it feels like.
But you let him see it too soon? No, I guess that's okay. Taking drones off the gas kind of gives it more away. I find.
Yeah, me too.
That's why you left them on. Okay, gotcha.
We talked about it.
Better to be less efficient, but you know, trick your opponent and show them that. So, alright, 2 things out. And Jake, like the strategy of this is, I mean, it's really important to hide your lings or hide.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about this build is you're giving it away that you're going to try to play macro, and then you just don't. And you hit them with a really early timing to where if they don't go really fast Bailey Nest or I guess you could go roaches and hold it, but if they don't do one or the other, usually you just kind of get run over.
I see.
Bryce is doing good here too, because he's also scouting, which is he's doing the exact, you know, standard thing to do here. Like if I was cheesing, I wouldn't even scout, because it's just like, well, I'm doing it anyways. I'm already kind of committed to this kind of build anyways, so I'll just be doing it.
This game he went family missed, so I'm actually not in a very good position.
I think you'll hit before banelings.
Yeah, I mean the best way.
Yeah, he just has to screw up one bane too for you to.
So close.
So close. If you get enough in, I think you'll. Yeah. You're right there.
This is why building placement comes into play here. See, like, if his spawning pool was up one spot to where his queen could fit in between the hatchery and the spawning pool, he could have put his queen there to where the zerglings couldn't have got us around on it, and only one or two zerglings would have attacked him at a time.
Right.
SimCity is kind of important in this matchup, actually. Which is why, like, in the first game you saw, like, me protect my spine crawler with, like, my first 2 evolution chambers and stuff, you know?
Right, right.
It's everything, even the small things come into play in this matchup.
Well, because Bryce droned behind it, though, it's a pretty even game.
Yeah, I mean, he did enough damage to where it's, like, evened up.
Yeah.
For sure, and that's like the whole point. Like you don't necessarily have to kill him, but you have to do damage.
Right.
It's like if Bryce wouldn't have done any damage with that attack, well, he would just be so far behind, it'd just almost be impossible to come back. So what's your mindset now, Machine? What are you thinking? Like, where are you going with this build?
I'm gonna hit a second timing +1.
Okay.
All right. You see them taking the third. It's probably should be good, right? If he's taking the third here.
Yeah, definitely. I would imagine. Because that means
Usually a sign of
that
tech,
Jake
right?
Bake is, well, not necessarily a sign of tech, but a sign of that, you know, 300 minerals right there in a drone is just kind of like blocked up into something he's hoping to get more economy off of later. To where at this point, in this case, it's like Machine's going to be really aggressive here, so like just like that, he had to cancel it, or there's no way he's going to hold it.
Right.
Random drones going over there. Machine's doing a good job here. He's trying to pick off those banelings, which is really good.
Got one. There you go.
Yep.
See all those. Trying to hit before these spines get up. There's all these drones here. I mean, you can try actually just back. Oh, you're gonna push out of it. Okay. That's smart, yeah. Oh, get into the ramp. Oh, so good. And then out of range of the spines, can take that natural out now, right?
You can definitely do a lot more harass. And while this is going on, I mean, even if he pulled his drones and he's blocking him from running up the ramp, he's not mining, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
while all this time's going on, Machine could do like one of two things. He could either continue being more aggressive, or he could just start droning back up, be more defensive, and just, you know, have the lead of a lifetime.
Right. Bryce's third is up now too, so he's just way ahead. Selling drones. I think he's big down to 5 drones.
Hit the trooper, man. 2
Where's
drones.
the tab? There it is. Super machine on that one, man. No talking, man. No talking at all.
I'm
There
not
you
good at talking and playing.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard, guys. I hope viewers. It's very very distracting. That's why I've been trying to tweak these formats a little bit more, where you guys don't have to talk as much playing. So, but good game, Bryce. Good game. You want to talk a little bit about that one? So,
Sure.
You're so good, Machine.
Optimally, actually, that wasn't the opening I was hoping he was going to do. Like, that's more to, it's like a metagame counter, where, as Jake said, like, a lot of players are just opening really greedy, not making a banling nest, and they're getting bigger advantages because of it, not only because of the drone to make the banling nest, and the banling nest, but you gotta think of the mining time lost by putting, like, a couple drones on gas to get that banling nest, also the banelings that you have to produce as well. And so when that all kind of adds up, it's a lot. Whereas if you're just able to transition straight to Roach and you know your opponent's not going to be like super aggressive and do some kind of timing, it puts you in a pretty clear advantage. So that game, he opened Baneling Nest. It wasn't really optimal for me, but I was still able to do some damage. And then I just, from there went to a +1, or played greedy myself, didn't make a Baneling Nest, went straight to Roach, then put down an Evo Chamber to get that early +1 range attack. And Roaches with +1 range just are very good against other Roaches. They're better against Spines. They're better against everything around. So kind of just, and I went for a second timing. Just so happened that it lined up to him taking a third at the same time, and he was also taking layer very quickly. And so, he was forced to put down a ton of Spines, but it really just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I like the second timing because a lot of times after there's been a huge battle, huge kind of huge exchange. Like I think the most common thing is to really have this kind of lull where people can both players can kind of go back to the drone in some, and so I kind of like the fact that you followed up with one an immediate follow-up to that, which was really cool. Even though you did fit in a cycle or two, or just a cycle of drones, right? So it's good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, guys, we're gonna do some Q&A. You guys up for it?
Sure.
Good. All right.
Absolutely.
Let me switch this over to. Okay, so we got 2 folks here. Let me add them. And for viewers that don't know how to call in your questions, add me on Skype. My Skype ID is ChanmanV, and you can ask these guys your questions live. We got Kyle Rogers first here. Yes, all the windows are messed up. I'll fix them. Like that new picture I have of you, though, by the way, Brian.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
You gotta get yourself one of those, Jake.
I know I do. I do, man.
Kyle, you there?
Oh, yeah. Hello, you guys hear me?
Yeah, welcome to ProCorn.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi, I'm a gold level Zerg player, and, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep, continue.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got some overlap going. I'll just answer.
Maybe
Sorry about
shut the
that, guys.
stream.
My question is about hotkeys. I recently moved all my hotkeys over to like the ZXC portion of the keyboard. Do you guys recommend doing something like that, or just learning where the L and M and that kind of stuff is?
I think it. You want to go first, Bryce?
You go first.
All right. I think it's totally different for each individual. Like I would say, whatever is the most comfortable for you. I do a lot of coaching and stuff, and I know some players who have the craziest of hotkeys, but it works for them, and they feel comfortable that way. And I would never say, oh, I think that's wrong, and you should, get used to using both sides of the keyboard. I feel like if you're more comfortable using just the left-hand portion side, then that's perfectly fine. It totally comes down to what feels natural and comfortable to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why we don't really adjust the keyboards as much is because we've been doing this since Brood War. We're used to hitting like M and all the funny keys on the right side of the keyboard, P for patrol and things like that. So that's just what we've grown accustomed to and what's comfortable for us. But if I was a new player, just starting in RTS and I was playing StarCraft, I would probably switch all of my keys to the left side of the keyboard because it obviously is just a little bit more efficient. There's less travel time between keystrokes. So, and if it's also more comfortable for you, then it's like you get two benefits from it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blizzard allowing us to do that, you got to take advantage of it. It was really nice. I remember when they first introduced it, everybody was really happy, especially with the backspace. The backspace is always the toughest one to hit. Like,
right. Well, right on. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
Take care.
All right, let's get I don't know how to pronounce that. Toki?
Yeah, looks stylish.
Toki Farby?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, Toki. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Pretty good. I just have a question for both of you. It's not ZvZ specific.
Looks so cool.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I just recently switched to Zerg from Protoss. I'm about Diamond right now. I just want to know, like, if you could say one build and opening in each matchup, that would be really good at grasping the game and like improving my mechanics.
Okay. You want to take this or me?
We'll both take it. Go ahead.
I would
Alright,
actually
well-
love it if both of you could give it a stab. That would be cool.
Okay, sure. Zerg versus Terran at the moment, if I had to give you one build order, and I think this is kind of universally agreed upon by most Zergs right now, it would be like a 15 hatchery, 15 pools, 17 overlord, as far as just the opening. Gasless is very common right now. You don't really have to worry about being aggressive at all, and you can really get those early queens up just by getting your 4 queens or so, and focus purely on droning and defending any sort of early 1 or 2 base timings just with queens, spines, and lings. And I think that allows you to really just hone in on focusing on injects, focusing on getting your drone count up, and focusing on hitting your overlord timings, because you don't have to worry about hitting counterattacks early on with speed lings, or getting the right sort of ling to drone ratio, because you're able to just defend with those early queens. So that's just kind of my suggestion.
And you would only get 4 queens, or how many?
I would actually get 6. Eventually, I really like 6. Is that what you agree, Jake?
I agree.
Yeah, 6 queens, ZvZ or ZvT is just great. Good at creep spread. You're gonna hit all your injects. Good at defending early on against both, like banshees, which tend to be kind of a hassle to deal with early on. ZvT Hellions are good against. They're not great against Marines, but they're okay. They can transfuse spines. They can deal DPS and tank well for your Zerglings. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the 6 queen gasless opening, and then take your Vespene Geysers somewhere around like 44 to 52 supply.
So kind of Ice Fisher style.
What's Ice Fisher?
EGLzGaMeR style, man.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry, my bad.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
No, I didn't do it in Terran, so you can have that one.
Oh, okay.
That's funny.
So yeah, ZVT, I'd give that. All right, Jake, give him like a ZVP or ZvZ.
All right, ZvZ, I would do. You could do hatch first if you wanted to. I don't really see a big need to do hatch first, other than like I would open like 15 pool, 16 hatch, and then 17 gas. Of course, queen when you can, of course, and then I would get Zergling speed, and then if you want to play really safe, you could throw down a Baneley nest with like your next 50 after Zergling speed. Or you could go to, or you could do like me and just make a spine crawler, an extra queen, and just skip it altogether, and just pretty much rely on your overlords. And if you see them trying to bust you, you just pull your drones, you move to the ramp, you hold it that way while pumping lings to defend. But then I would, at 150 gas after you have your Zergling speed and stuff, I would drop 2 evolution chambers, and by the time those 2 evolution chambers are done, you'll be able to you'll have 250 gas.
Actually,
Sorry.
I was thinking about that thing. Why don't you just throw down the first evolution chamber at 75?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, you're still using your minerals then, anyways. Like you don't have the income to start like your upgrades. Because if you do that, like you could, and you'd have a little bit faster, like let's say, like armor upgrade or something. But you'll be missing drones at that time too. So that's the reason I don't. Because like working on your economy is really important at that point to get everything that you need as the game progresses. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And you're not really going to want to be aggressive until you have the upgrades finished anyway. So I wouldn't attack if I only had 1 armor. You know, I mean, if my +1 melee was like 20 seconds away, would I attack before my plus melee was done? Probably not, more than likely, because I figure you want to get everything you can out of those units. And then you have double evos upgrading, and then you can take a 3rd base, no problem. Pretty much just use Ling aggression, and then if they make banelings and try to be like in the middle of the map, they're very immobile, so you can just keep running around them and force them to pull the banelings back or whatever. So just pretty much just comes down to like unit control at that point. Transition into taking all your gases, going Infestor, Zergling, and then kind of turtling till like Ultra. Or I guess you could even go Broodlord off of it too. I haven't experimented enough with that, but
all right, Toki.
Yep. And then for ZvP.
Oh yeah, ZvP.
We'll go through this one real quick. Me and Bryce play the absolute most complete different style of Zerg versus Protoss you'll ever see in your life. Kind of the same way as we do in ZvZ, but when I play Zerg versus Protoss, I literally play. It's all about like reading your opponent, like seeing their gas count, like can tell the entire story of the Zerg versus Protoss. So the way I do it is I actually go 15 pull, I go 16 hatch, and then I actually go gas at like 340, clock timer 340, and then I'll take my 3rd at like 5 minutes. So it's like a delayed 3rd, but I still get my queens at a good time to where I don't miss any injects on my first 2 hatcheries. But I also have a really fast Zergling speed upgrade, right? And that's what I pretty much rush for. And then if they're not taking their 2 gases at their expansion, then they're going to probably do the Zealot Warp-In build, the 4-gate after a fast expand or something. And so then you're able to punish that by never even allowing that probe ever to get a pylon down that way. Or what I do is I actually make a preemptive round when I see like a Zealot, a Stalker, and a probe move out, and I actually just counterattack their base because their Warp Gate is never done and they never block their little space. I've beat I don't know how many players with it, just like multiple games, because it's like they never even look to, you know, even think about the possibility of like Zerglings like running in their base and unpowering all their gateways or something. So and then you can transition almost any way. I mean, ZvP, it's hard to say. It's all dependent upon what your opponent's doing, but that's a standard opening for me.
Right.
And as Jake said, I play completely different. I open like pretty much just gasless until 44 supply off 3 base, get 4 queens early on, and I rely purely on Overlord Scout, slow Zergling Scout to detect where the pylons are going to be positioned. I also have an Overlord always detecting Vespene Geysers at their natural, so I can keep an eye on their gas count. If they have no gas at their natural, it's always going to be like a 7-gate, 6-gate, something pretty quick. By the time your like Roach Warren's done, you should also put your Roach Warren down like at around 50, 52 supply. And you know, if you don't see a Vespene Geyser, you need to just start pumping as many units as you can. If you see a single Vespene Geyser, it's typically either Stargate or Robo play. And if you see double Vespene Geyser, it can mean a number of things. But it's typically like Robo, Immortal Sentry timing, or like even a possible like Colossus timing I've seen. Or they're just going to end up going like Blink Stalker. Like there's a lot of, but the point is, the more Vespene Geysers they take, generally the later the timing's going to be. Right. And so you'll
also
have to
the
just
stronger it's going to be too, though.
Yes, the stronger it's going to be. So you basically need to react accordingly, drone to you know, the specific amount of drones, and also composition changes depending upon how many Vespene Geysers I take. Like typically for me, I don't know about Jake, but I tend to, the later the Vespene Geysers, or the more Vespene Geysers they have, I tend to be more like Ling Infestor centric composition, specifically against like Immortal Sentry timings, whereas the early like 6-gate, 7-gate timings, I feel like you need roaches to be in there in order to counter the Zealot heavy compositions. I don't know, that seems pretty accurate, right? But it's not like you don't have to just skip out on roaches. You can use roaches to defend like Immortal Sentry timings, and then, you know, use them later on in like a drop or something. But just I typically like Infestor play against early Immortal Sentry. So.
There's like 10 of us.
All right, Joke. Hopefully